Good morning, everyone. Online students, screen share ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, today I picked up this topic. What special status is Ladakh seeking? Okay. So this is about fifth and sixth schedules, right? Yeah. So first of all, schedules ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ? How many schedules are there in Indian Constitution? 12. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ? Schedule 1. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ನೆನಪಿದೆ schedules? Schedule 1.
Yes.
It lists the states and union territories, right? Second schedule, provisions for emoluments, allowances, privileges, etc. Right? For president, governor, and other offices. Right? Next, third schedule. What oath? Oaths and affirmations for ministers, members of parliaments, and state legislatures, judges, and CAG. Right? Fourth schedule. Fast. Allocation of seats to Rajya Sabha. Next, fifth schedule deals with the administration of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. Right? Sixth schedule. What ATM square? What is it? Administering tribal areas. You are missing the tribal area ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Yeah. So tribal areas. Seventh schedule. Okay, tribal areas in 4 states. Which are the Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram.
Manipur.
Not Manipur. Manipur ಅಲ್ಲ. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Next, seventh schedule. There are 3 lists. Division of power ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? Article number 246. Right. So central union list, state list, and concurrent list. Right. Next, 8th schedule is about scheduled languages. Right?
Language.
Scheduled languages. 9th schedule. What is it about? Yeah, not only land reforms. So any schedule, any provision added in the 9th schedule will be protected from judicial review. Right. 10th schedule. Anti-defection law. Right. 11th schedule.
Panchayat.
12th schedule. Urban local bodies or municipalities. Okay. So today we are focusing on 5th and 6th schedules. Very important.
Sir, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? This article is very important. Every line of this article is important. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ? That's why I've taken this up. 5 minutes late ಆದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ 5th and 6th schedules ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನೋಡಿದಿರಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಇನ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ in many exams they have asked this. 5th and 6th schedule is very important, and they are again in use, and there is high chance that they will ask the same thing repeatedly. They will try to confuse you, especially if UPSC gets into the details of 5th and 6th schedules. Okay, so that's why this article, every line is important. So today I will specially emphasize on 5th and 6th schedules because it's very, very important. Okay, so what is happening here? There is a demand by this Ladakh, right? That it is demanding 6th schedule. What it is demanding? It is demanding 6th schedule. 6th schedule ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಏನು? Administration of tribal areas. Administration of tribe. 5th schedule is about what is it? Scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. Whereas 6th schedule is about tribal areas. Correct? So can I ask you few basic questions just to know ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ? ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತವೆ? ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 5th schedule or 6th schedule? ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ನ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ನ ಯಾರು ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? 5th schedule ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಿದೆ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಗವರ್ನರ್, ರೈಟ್. ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 5th or 6th schedule? 6th ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಿ.
5th, sir.
Autonomous district councils are part of which schedule? So there are many confusions, right? So if you just read this article, it's like basics ella kottidare from beginning. Okay, so I will read out and we can follow it. Are you ready for this? Yeah. So which are the other states seeking, what will we understand in this article is which are the other states which are seeking safeguards under 5th and 6th schedules, not only Ladakh. So do 5th and 6th schedules grant areas under them are more autonomy? Why did the British create provisions for excluded and partially excluded areas under the Government of India Act of 1935? So that means 1935 Government of India Act ali British government has created provisions for excluded areas and partially excluded areas. Same direct ide question barboda? ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ನೀವು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 1935. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ introduction. So let us see what is happening now. So climate activist Sonam Wangchuk was detained on Delhi border on Monday night as he led a group of protesters to petition the central government for the inclusion of Ladakh in the schedule. Ladakh is demanding 6th schedule of the constitution. Okay, so for more autonomy, 6th schedule ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ ಲದಾಖ್ ಗೆ more autonomy ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ತನ್ನ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ನ ಗವರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ they will get more freedom. Similar demands ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದಾವೆ? ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯಾರ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you can see here, ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur. Please follow this. Don't get bored of reading this. Okay. Sometimes it is necessary to read line by line. That's why I have taken this up. Okay. Otherwise, I would have given summary. But this article, every line is important. That's why. This discussion related to special provisions for ethnic groups in the constitutions. So what is this for? They have these 5th and 6th schedules have special provisions for ethnic groups in the which are in the constitution. So there is one more term here called asymmetrical federalism. See, asymmetrical federalism, it's very important. US and Australia, they are also federal countries, correct? Can you tell me other unitary countries? Unitary andre union unitary features ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುವಂತ country ಯಾವುದು? Example, one example. US is federal country.
Japan, sir.
Huh?
Japan.
India has both. India has both. UK, for example. UK is the best example you can say. Correct. So India is also federal country. And USA is also federal country. Australia is also federal country. But USA, Australia compare ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ Indian federalism ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ different ಇದೆ. So that is the term asymmetrical federalism. Asymmetrical federalism means they have given Indian constitution follows asymmetrical federalism. ಇದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Federalism is very important concept. Asymmetrical federalism is where some states and areas have more autonomy than others. Correct? Because we have 5th and 6th schedules and some other articles like article 371A, ನಮ್ಮ 371 ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಯಾವುದು? ನಾರ್ತ್ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ 371J. So like that there are some special provisions in some states, right? Correct? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? So that means here some states have more autonomy than other states. Even though that's federal ಅಂದಾಗ the powers are distributed between center and state. But within state also, not all states have equal autonomy. Some states have special provisions in India. States ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ unequal distribution ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ autonomy related ಬಂದಾಗ. See, federalism is all about how much the states are autonomous. ಎಷ್ಟು autonomous ಆಗಿದಾವೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗಳು ಅಂತ. Some states are more autonomous than other states. That means our federalism is not symmetrical, it is asymmetrical. Understanding this? Yeah. A classical federation like USA and Australia, they are called classical federations because they are perfect federations. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪವರ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪವರ್ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ರಿಜಿಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 3 branches of the government. That even that's a different concept, but still where they are pure federations, and also they follow presidential systems with strict separation of powers concept, but that is a bit different. Okay. But as a federation anta bandaga they follow symmetrical federation, and they're more like rigid federation anta helbodu. Okay. US or Australia is a symmetrical federation as all states enjoy the same state of powers and autonomy. All states enjoy same status, right? In India, there are few states that enjoy more autonomy. Understanding this? In India, few states enjoy more autonomy or have special provisions under the constitution than others. So have you understood the concept of asymmetrical federalism? All of you? Have you understood the concept of asymmetrical federalism? Yes. Next. So next, here in the next upcoming, the coming article, the author is explaining clearly about the history of 5th and 6th schedules. Okay, this you will rarely get. Okay, in short format. ಮತ್ತೆ ಓದಿ ಕಲಿಬಹುದು, but within one paragraph you will understand the history of 5th and 6th schedules. Okay, so let us go through this. So tribal populations were never fully subjugated by earlier Muslim rulers before the British. They did not intervene in tribal customary laws or their lifestyles. What does it mean? We had Muslim rulers like Delhi Sultanate and mainly Mughals. They are comparing to Mughals before the arrival of British, or at that time when the British have arrived to India, there was Mughal rule in India. But Mughals never interfered in the tribal matters. Understanding this? They did not intervene in the internal affairs, or they did not try to violate the customary laws of the tribal people. But what happened when the British came? Let's see. Till the entry of British, the tribals were the masters of their forest and ancestral lands. Till the entry of British. However, the initial British laws and their forest policies affected the tribal way of life. Understanding this? So their traditional rights over forest lands were not recognized, and their movement inside forest became restricted. So as soon as the British came, they have introduced some of the laws which have restricted the rights of tribal peoples over their own lands and their movement in their own territories. ಯಾವ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದ, ಯಾವ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ ಅರೈವಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ their movement and their rights were restricted. Understanding this? So before the arrival of British, the customary laws and the lifestyles of tribal laws were completely unaffected. So Mughal rulers never interfered. But British, when they came up, when they came to India, when they started administration, they started interfering in their internal affairs, right? So what happens now? When British interfere, revolts, right, are the consequences. Can you see revolts like Kol Rebellion, Santal Revolt, Munda Rebellion, Basta Rebellion? So there are many tribal revolts you will come across in modern history, right? Correct? Modern history you will come across many tribal revolts. Those tribal revolts are the result of British laws. British ಅವರು ಏನು ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಅವರ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದರಿಂದ ತಾನೇ ಈ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? Are you following me? So this is the history. So when during Mughal rule, these tribal people never subjugated under any of their laws. But when the British started administration, okay, so they started meddling. So what happened then? After the revolts, British realized that it is impossible to, like, it is very difficult to interfere in the tribal affairs and then rule them. It's not possible. So they have started bringing some reforms. Like these rebellions culminated in British policy of isolation. Now British are following policy of isolation towards the tribals. That means let's not touch them. Let's not interfere anta. Because rebellion ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. Yeah. So and creation of, so then they have created these areas called excluded areas and partially excluded areas. Under which act? Government of India Act of 1935. These excluded areas and partially excluded areas are like foundations for our 5th and 6th schedules. Are you understanding this? Can you repeat the history? What has happened? So there was no interference during Mughal era. Then when British came, the interference started. That interference in the tribal affairs led to the many revolts against British. Okay. So after that, British started following the policy of isolation. And also they have brought up this excluded and partially excluded areas concept. In which act? Government of India Act of 1935. Right. So now the excluded areas mainly consisted of excluded areas andre yavado? Excluded and partially excluded, 2 types. Excluded means consisted of hilly regions in northeast. Remember it. Excluded areas are those. Which are the excluded areas? Hilly regions of northeast. In these areas, the power of legislation was in the hands of governor. But this was in 1935 Act, not present governor. Okay. Partially excluded areas consisted of tribal tracts present day. ಯಾವ states ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Not northeast, but other states like Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Maharashtra. So these states had partially excluded areas. Understanding this, excluded areas were where? In northeast, where the administration, where the legislation was conducted by governor. So in partially excluded areas like Bihar and other areas, central and provincial laws were applicable, but with modifications or exceptions as decided by the governor. Andre excluded areas alli complete agi governor ಹೊಸ laws galu create ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ. Right. He was responsible for laws. But partial excluded areas alli central laws ಗಳು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ವು. But ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ governor who decide ಯಾವ ತರ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Are you understanding this? So governor can modify or alter the central or provincial laws. Then they will be applied. Correct? Are you following this? So this is the story of, this is historical context. Now ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ವಾ ಈ paragraph ಅಲ್ಲಿ, it is history before independence. Okay. So now what happens after independence when our Indian constitution was enacted, and we have in the Indian constitution we have included 2 schedules, especially for this same excluded and partially excluded areas. ಯಾವ schedules ಅವು? 5th and 6th schedules. See, 5th and 6th schedules have been modeled on the basis of these provisions. Allowed partially and excluded areas under the Government of India Act of 1935. So the 5th schedule is applicable to what are officially called scheduled areas. Okay. 5th schedule is applicable to, you already know, 5th schedule related to what? Scheduled areas that are declared by the president. See, now every line is important. Who declares scheduled areas? President. Understood this? Okay. So the guiding norms for declaring an area as a scheduled area includes, so on what basis president declares scheduled areas. So these are also important. That's why I'm telling you every line of this article is important. On what basis he declares? See, first one, preponderance of tribal population. That means majority tribal population ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ. Tribal population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. First case, first factor. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? On what basis president declares an area scheduled area ಅಂದಾಗ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? Preponderance of tribal population. ಅಂದ್ರೆ tribal population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. First one. Second one, compactness of area. Area should be what? Compact, small. Second one. Third one, a viable administrative unit like a district or a block. It should be population ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಬೇರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಹಂಗಿರ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಒಂದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? So the viable administrative unit like a district or block. And the another indicator is economic backwardness. Economic backwardness. Right. Based on these parameters, President declares some areas in some states as scheduled areas. So ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ scheduled ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ವರ್ಡ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ scheduled areas and scheduled tribes ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Where sixth schedule ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have tribal areas. So understand the difference. Don't get confused. So at present, how many states have scheduled areas? Anta question next. At present, how many states have scheduled areas? Andre fifth schedule area. Scheduled areas andre fifth schedule ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Fifth schedule areas ಯಾವ್ದು? ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. You have to tell me. 10 states ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. Is Karnataka part of that? Is Karnataka under fifth schedule? No. So write down AP, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Continuous ಆಗಿ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಛತ್ತೀಸ್ಗಢ, ಒಡಿಶಾ, ಜಾರ್ಖಂಡ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ನೆನಪಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಜಾರ್ಖಂಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ವಿತ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್. ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ವಿತ್ ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್. ತೆಲಂಗಾಣ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ? ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ.
ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್. ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್, ತೆಲಂಗಾಣ.
ಅಂಡ್ ಇದು ಮಧ್ಯಪ್ರದೇಶ್. ನೋಡಿ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಮಾಚಲ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್ ಒಂದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದಾವೆ ಬ್ಯಾಚಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ 5th schedule areas 10 states. ಹತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್, ತೆಲಂಗಾಣ, ಛತ್ತೀಸ್ಗಢ, ಒಡಿಶಾ,
ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ,
ಮಧ್ಯಪ್ರದೇಶ್, ಗುಜರಾತ್, ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಹಿಮಾಚಲ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಈಸಿ. Okay, so these at present 10 states have such scheduled areas. These are tribes advisory councils. There are tribes advisory council that are set up in these states. So in all these states, they have set up something called tribes advisory council or tribal advisory council. First question ಕೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, tribes advisory council or tribal advisory councils are part of 5th schedule, right? So ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು? First of all, composition ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. Consisting of how many members? Not more than 20 members. Not more than 20 members. See, exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5th and 6th schedule ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Now if they ask you questions, they will ask only difficult questions. Remember it. What is 5th schedule ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. Scheduled areas ಅಷ್ಟು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. They will ask about tribes advisory council, their composition. How many? What's the composition? There are 20 members. Not more than 20 members. That also you should remember. That means 20 members is the maximum limit. Of which ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 3/4 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 75% ಅಂದಂಗ 3/4 shall be tribal MLS from the state. A tribes advisory council ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3/4 members should be tribal MLS belonging to the scheduled tribes. Okay, tribal MLS from the state, from that particular state. Okay, not from other states. ಆ ತರನು ಓದ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈನ್ ಬೈ ಲೈನ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ 3/4 shall be tribal MLS from that state. Okay, understanding this, the tribes advisory council provides advice. Remember it. It provides advice. Highlight ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, right? It provides advice pertaining to welfare and advancement of scheduled tribes in these states. Okay, so the governor, subject to the approval of, then this is the role of tribes advisory council. What is the role of tribes advisory council? It advises for the welfare and development of scheduled tribes. That's all. Now come to what are the powers governor has with respect to these scheduled areas. So governor, subject to the approval of central government. Remember that. Subject to the approval of central government. Okay, I will tell you what is it. Shall make regulations for the allotment and transfer of lands among the members of STs. Now governor has some powers. Governor has some powers, like one of those powers is he will make regulations for allotments of lands to members of scheduled tribes. Okay, so ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲಾಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈ ಎಸ್-ಟಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆನೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಆ ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು? ಗವರ್ನರ್. ಬಟ್ ವೈಲ್ ಹಿ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಸೀಕ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸಿಸಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಗೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಎನಿ ಟೈಮ್. Understand this? So how are you making them more autonomous? Governor wants to do something, central government is interfering. This can happen, right? Understand this? See, these are bigger issues. Okay, in one line, these are bigger issues you should understand. The governor shall also regulate. No, the governor kelsa matteno, he also regulates business of money lenders in scheduled areas. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಮನಿ ಲೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಬಿಗ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇತ್ತು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೆವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಮನಿ ಲೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಂಡೆಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಸಾಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಇವನ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ money lenders interference was a big issue there. So to fight against money lenders only, many rebellions have happened. Like for example, Santal rebellion, right? Yeah. So governor can regulate business of money lenders in scheduled areas. Then the governor may direct that a particular act of parliament or state legislature shall not apply or apply with modifications to such scheduled areas. ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಪಾರ್ಸಿಯಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ದ ಪವರ್. ಏನ್ ಪವರ್ ಇತ್ತು? He will dictate what laws of central government and what laws of the parliament and state legislature shall apply or shall not apply, or if applied, what modification should be done. Correcta? So adana ಹೇಳೋದು ಯಾರು? ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು? ಗವರ್ನರ್. So governor has more power with respect to this scheduled areas. Understanding this? So this is the story of fifth schedule. In fifth schedule, we have understood that there is tribes advisory council. First of all, scheduled areas are declared by president on certain grounds that you understood. There are tribes advisory council, which consist of not more than 20 members, and 3/4 of them should be MLAs belonging to ST populations of that state. Correct? And governor has certain regulatory functions, regulatory rules, subject to the approval of central government. Next, let's come to 6. Have you understood about fifth schedule? All of you, online students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us come to sixth schedule. So now we'll also understand the difference between fifth and sixth schedule, correct? So see, sixth schedule is applicable to what are officially called tribal areas. Understanding this? Sixth schedule are applicable to what? Sixth schedule ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Tribal areas in the states of ಯಾವ states ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, your ATM square, right? Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya and Mizoram. So there are 10 such tribal areas at present in the so how many tribal areas are there in these 4 states? States are 4, but tribal areas is to 10 tribal areas at present in these 4 states. Okay. So in all these tribal areas, there is institutions, there are councils called autonomous district councils. Autonomous district councils. So these are 4 states which have tribal areas, right? So there are total 10 tribal areas, right? Each tribal area has autonomous district council. Autonomous district council. Number 5th schedule alli tribes advisory council italva. So similarly in 6th schedule we have autonomous district council are formed in these tribal areas. These ADCs shall consist of how many members? ಇದು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 30 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ? ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್? 30 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 4 ಆರ್ ನಾಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಆರ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 26 ಆರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಂಡ್ 4 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಆತರ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದಾ? ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈ ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ 5th schedule ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಯಾವ್ದು autonomous district council ಅಲ್ಲಿ some members are elected and some it is partly elected and partly nominated ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ 26 members are elected by the people. 26 members. 4 members are nominated by the governor. ನೆನಪಿರುತ್ತಾ? Very important, I'm telling you.
ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಲೈನ್ ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಟ್
This
ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಲೈನ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ತರ
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್
ಆಗಿದೆ
ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. Autonomous district councils are contain partly elected and partly nominated members. ಈ ತರ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. Partly elected ಅಂದ್ರೆ 26 members are elected and 4 members can be nominated by governor, right?
Sir, on what basis will they be nominated, that 4 members?
4 members, like governor can nominate them depending upon their residence and their ethnicity and their any member he can nominate. Just that they should have played some big role in the welfare of the tribal population of that area. Okay.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
They will become members of that council. Iva council function ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. Autonomous district councils function ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. Okay. So they have given here. Okay. So next continue. ADC shall have powers to make laws. Now they have power to make laws. Now compare tribes advisory council and what? Autonomous district council. Compare ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಏನ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? Tribes advisory council was like advisory body, but here autonomous district council can make laws, right? They can make laws with respect to use and management of land. On what matters they will make laws? Use and management of land, regulate shifting cultivation, because ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Shifting cultivation is an issue there. Zoom cultivation ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Yes. So inheritance of property, on these matters they can make laws. On marriage and divorce, social customs, etc. Etc. means many such things, many such subjects mele they can make laws. So autonomous district councils can make laws, whereas tribes advisory councils in the 5th schedule cannot make laws. They are just advisory councils. These laws take effect, but all these laws should be approved by governor. Autonomous district councils in laws ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, they should be approved by governor. These laws take effect after being approved by the governor for all such matters. The laws by the state legislature will not be applicable in these tribal areas. ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ see, this is extreme statement. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ you will feel like it's wrong. ಏನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ? For all such matters means laws related to land, marriage, divorce, inheritance of property, shifting cultivation, ಈ ತರ ಏನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಲಾಸ್, ಈ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ ನ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪವರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Related to these matters subjects, only those advisory councils, autonomous district councils have power to make laws. Understanding this? Okay. Unless extended by ADC. Even if state legislature make laws on them, it can be extended by autonomous district councils. Otherwise, they are not applicable directly. So ADCs are empowered to establish and manage primary schools. Nodi, bere functions nodi. They are empowered to establish and manage primary schools, dispensaries, roads, waterways in the districts. And they can assess and collect land revenue also. Highlight that. They can assess and collect land revenue and impose taxes on profession, trade, etc. So they also have power to impose levy taxes and also collect those taxes, right? And also they can grant licenses or lease for extraction of minerals. They have also power to grant licenses. ಆ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಿನರಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ autonomous district councils ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ವಿತೌಟ್ ದಟ್ ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ autonomous district council must give license. And that's why they are becoming more autonomous, right? The ADCs are empowered to constitute village and district councils courts. They can also constitute courts. Understanding this? They also constitute what? Village and district council courts for the trial of suits and cases where the parties to the dispute belong to STs within the district. ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ST population ನಡುವೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಎನಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್, ಓಕೆ, they will try these cases. Okay, they also have power to establish courts. Understanding this? So now tell me, you have understood autonomous district councils and tribes advisory councils of 5th and 6th schedules. Okay. So which is more powerful? 5th schedule or 6th schedule? More autonomy ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗೆ? 6th schedule. Right.
Sixth.
Now tell me which one should Ladakh demand? What they're demanding,
Sixth.
that's why they're demanding 6th schedule. Understanding this? Because autonomous district council, they're very powerful. They can make laws locally related to all these subjects, and they can also set up local courts, etc. And I mean, appeal will be available. The judgments are not final of these courts. Appeal, they can take appeal to the High Court from these courts. Yeah. So the tribal areas included within the 6th schedule enjoy greater autonomy through the ADC with more executive, legislative, and judicial financial powers. Correct? Power ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So this 5th schedule tribal areas ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ autonomous district council ಏನಿದಾವೆ, they have more power with respect to executive, legislative, and judicial, all the powers, and even financial powers also they have than the scheduled areas of 5th schedule. Correct? However, both these areas are aimed at protecting the both. What is the major aim of both these schedules? Major aim is protect the indigenous culture and interest of scheduled tribes, okay, while integrating them with the mainstream through various development policies. Even though the objective is same, the 6th schedule is a bit different. It's more autonomous and more powerful, right? So next thing is, what are special provisions for Northeast states? So apart from 5th and 6th schedules, are there not any provisions which give more autonomy to some areas of the states? There are some other provisions also apart from 5th and 6th schedule. Now 5th and 6th schedule bit big. There are some other provisions also there in the constitution itself which provide more autonomy to some areas. Like apart from 5th and 6th schedules, there are special provisions applicable to many of the northeastern states under part. ಯಾವ part ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Part ಹೇಳಿ. 371J ಯಾವ part ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ? 21. Okay. So here, so ಈ ತರ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 371J ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ತರ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ, ರೈಟ್, ಅಂಡರ್ ಸೇಮ್ part 21. So these articles are, see, 371A is related to ನಾಗಾಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಇದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ KS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ? ಓಕೆ. 371 in Nagaland, 371B is for Assam, 371C is for Manipur, F is for Sikkim, G is for Mizoram, Mizoram, H is for Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so like that. So allu kuda they idrali under these special provisions also they provide for the protection of local customary laws and practices with respect to Nagaland and Mizoram. And also it mandates committees of MLAs from tribal areas and hill areas in Assam and Manipur respectively, and list out special responsibilities of the governor of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh for the development and maintenance of law and order. So these are some of the other special provisions given in the part 21. You can go through them again. Okay. Have you understood this? Now they're talking about future. Are there reforms needed? Okay. So despite these provisions enshrined in the constitution, there are still further reforms that are required. Okay. What are those reforms? So these are like few things will not get anywhere. Okay. Inta points nimge yavade books alli sigala. So please highlight that, because these are about reforms. You will get some more perspective. Number one, the autonomy of the 5th and 6th schedules areas are more on paper than in actual practice. Ishtella ಓದಿದೀವಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು autonomous ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. Most of these are only in paper. In practice ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ autonomy ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಿಕ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. The reason is 5th schedule ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, the regulation made by the governor. Under 5th schedule, governor makes certain regulations, right? In scheduled areas are subject to approval by central government. Already ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, they're subject to approval by central government. So central government has power, like central government is interfering, okay, in the independent exercise of governor anta helbodu. Similarly, the laws made by autonomous district council in tribal areas also subjected to approval of governor of the state. Already I have told you, autonomous district councils, even though they are very powerful, they can make laws on many things, many subjects, that every law is subject should need approval by governor. So governor is controlled by central government. Like that, central government can control. Understanding this? Are you following this? When different parties are in power at the center, state as well as ADC, political differences affect the autonomy of these areas. If the same party is there, they will give approval. But if there are different parties in ADC and state government and central government, the decisions of the ADCs might affect, or their autonomy might get affected. And following this, okay, guidelines need to be laid down and followed to uphold the spirit behind the provisions of fifth and sixth schedule. This is the first, um, reform that is needed. That is, they need to require more autonomy and less interference. And second one is that there are numerous ST habitations across the country, both within 10 states under fifth schedule and other states that are not notified as scheduled areas, thereby denying these areas constitutional rights and protection. See, there are many other areas apart from these 10 states. ಈ 10 states ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು scheduled areas ಅಂತ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯನ್ ಏನು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ scheduled area ಅಂತ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಬಟ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೀಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಅದರ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. There also tribal population is huge, but there such protections are not given. So we should extend, right? So these need to be notified as scheduled areas. So scheduled areas ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹಿತ ಅಂತ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್? ಓಕೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಡಿಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, ಮೂರನೇದೇನು, 125th Constitutional Amendment Bill. 125th Constitutional Amendment Bill, which was introduced in 2019, and this is pending in Rajya Sabha. It aims to grant more financial, executive and administrative powers to the 10 ADCs, autonomous district councils ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಬಿಲ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ the union government has agreed to form a committee headed by Minister of State for Home Affairs to resolve the issues that have been holding up the passage of this bill. So what is the thing? The suggestion is that ಈ bill ಬೇಗ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Understanding this process needs to be expedited to the satisfaction of all stakeholders. Next, fourth one, Arunachal Pradesh Assembly and Manipur Hill Area Committee for hill areas in the state have passed resolution in recent years for the inclusion in the sixth schedule. So these states also demanding sixth schedule. Sixth schedule currently applies to in 4 states: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Now Arunachal Pradesh and also hill states of what? Hill areas of Manipur, they're also demanding what? Sixth schedule. Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh are also demanding, so that should be granted. There is a growing demand for the inclusion of Union Territory of Ladakh also, as well as in the sixth schedule. So currently 1 Union Territory of Ladakh and 2 states of Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur, they are demanding sixth schedule. These demands have to be examined promptly and necessary decision taken at the earliest to protect the interest of the tribals in these areas. Okay, so finally, the recognition and vesting of Forest Rights Act to tribals under Forest Right Act of 2006 should be ensured throughout the country, including 5th and 6th. So finally, one more important thing, Forest Rights Act 2006 ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ಸ್ ಗೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋ ರೈಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಡೇ. ಸೊ ಆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ರೆಕಾಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, and we should that should be effectively implemented. That's Forest Rights Act anta. Have you understood this article, all of you? Was it not important? You can again go through the gist also, so that you will have brief summary of all of them. Okay, so what's the time? 10. Yeah, we can I will show you some mapping work. Okay, in the end, and we can leave. we can do some map work. So there is one lake which is in news. So lakes, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು lakes dry ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ world ಅಲ್ಲಿ, they become very important for exams. Okay, so let us, as we do not have time, let us just go through this mapping. So there is one lake called Little Prespa Lake. ಏನಾದ್ರ ಹೆಸರು? Little Prespa Lake. ಇದೆಲ್ಲಿದೆಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೀಸ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಗ್ರೀಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಯಾವ ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ? ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್? ಯುರೋಪ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಲೇಕ್. This lake is exactly at the border between two countries. See, Little Prespa Lake. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? So yeah, this is fine. ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಸಿಡೋನಿಯಾ ಕೂಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಸಿಡೋನಿಯಾ ಕೂಡ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? ಸೊ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಪಾ ಲೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಪಾ ಅಲ್ಲ, 2-3 ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಪಾ ಲೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದಾವೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಪಾ ಲೇಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಪಾ ಲೇಕ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಲಿ? ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ. ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎನಫ್? ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಹಾ, ಗ್ರೇಟ್. Rift Valley of Africa. They're always in news. Recently, for what reason they are in news? Which lake exactly? There are so many lakes. Huh? Okay, I will let you know if there are any recent news on them.
ಸರ್, ಲೇಕ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಡ್ರೈ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ?
These lakes are mainly like human interference. Human interference ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, like land acquisition and construction. Okay, so let me
Sir,
get you the images.
ರಿಟ್ರೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಾದ್ರು?
Retreating monsoon.
ಹಾ,
No. Illi they do not have monsoon climate there. Monsoon climate. We are in Greece. Okay, I will show European map. See, it has dried up mainly because of climate change, issues like climate change and human interference. Okay, human interference ali we can see diversion of water for irrigation. That's one of the things. And excessive fishing. Even ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಲೇಕ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವೆಟ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓವರ್ ಗ್ರೇಜಿಂಗ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೀಸನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೇಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಡ್ರೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಿಸ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮೆಡಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀಜನ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಸೊ ಮೆಡಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೀಸ್ ಗಳಿದಾವೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್, ಬಾಲ್ಟಿಕ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಇದನ್ನ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಈ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ ಯಾವ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಬಾಲ್ಟಿಕ್ ರೀಜನ್. ಬಾಲ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಗಳು ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದು ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಔಟ್ ಶೋನ್ ಇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾಟ್ ಬಾಲ್ಟಿಕ್, ಸಾರಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? Balkan, sir. Baltic or Lithuania, Estonia, adu. This is Balkan countries. Yeah. Can you see this image? Like, hold on for a second. Now it has come up. Yeah. So just go through this. Nodi illi. These are all Balkan countries. There was one country earlier called Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia divided into so many small countries. Can you see here? Macedonia, Greece ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಸೊ ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಯೋನಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಅಯೋನಿಯನ್ ಸಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಇಂದ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ? ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಲೇಕ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಲೇಕ್ ಹೆಸರೇನು? ಲಿಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಶ್ಪಾ ಲೇಕ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಬೇನಿಯಾ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಮ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೀಸ್. Adriatic Sea ನೋಡಿ, Adriatic Sea between Italy and these Balkan countries. Adriatic Sea and these Balkan countries, right? So Albania capital ಯಾವುದು? Tirana, right? Macedonia, Skopje. Serbia ನೋಡಿ, Serbia capital very famous ಯಾವುದು? Belgrade. And there is Montenegro, capital Podgorica. Bosnia and Herzegovina, ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಹೆಸರು ಬಾಸ್ನಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೆರ್ಜಿಗೋವಿನಾ. ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್? ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬಾಸ್ನಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೆರ್ಜಿಗೋವಿನಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಸೌತ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಯುರೋಪ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಯಾ, ಸರಾಯೋ, ರೈಟ್? ಸರಾಯೋ, ಯಾ, ಸರಾಯೋ. So Bosnia and Herzegovina capital Sarajevo. Then Croatia capital ಯಾವುದು? Zagreb. Serbia capital Belgrade. And there is Slovenia also with the capital Ljubljana. Okay, so go through this. And seas ಗಳು ನೋಡಿ, Adriatic Sea, Ionian Sea and Aegean Sea and Tyrrhenian Sea. Tyrrhenian Sea is west of Italy. ಇಟಲಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಎರಡು ಸಿ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ರೈಟ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು? ಅಡ್ರಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸಿ, ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆರೇನಿಯನ್ ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಮೆಡಿಟರೇನಿಯನ್ ಸೀಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಮೆಡಿಟರೇನಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟ್ರೈ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್. ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಅ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಟು ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಜೋವ್. Where is Sea of Azov? Aegean Sea to Sea of Azov. See, that region is constantly news because of Ukraine war. Sea of Azov. Where is this? ನಾನು ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು? ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಟು ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಜವ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಬಾಡೀಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್?
ಸರ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸಿ.
ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ? ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸಿ ಫೈನ್, ಬಟ್ ಮಿಡ್ಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಸಿ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸಣ್ಣದು, ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಜಲಸಂಧಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಜೋ ಸಿ ಟು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸಿ. ನೋ, ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಮರ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮಿಡ್ಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಮರ್ಮರ Okay, Sea of Marmara. So Sea of Marmara and Sea of Azov are connected by a strait called Strait of Dardanelles. I would have shown you if it was easier here. You can write down, okay, and you can go through map on your own. Dardanelles and the Dardanelles. That region is in news, okay, for various reasons. So Dardanelles connects Sea of Azov to Sea of Marmara. Then Sea of Marmara in the next Black Sea enter ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So there is a strait very important, Bosphorus Strait. Bosphorus Strait is very important for many reasons. It divides Turkey into two halves, and ಇದು western European part and Asian part, right? European part ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have Istanbul. From Black Sea. Now ಇವಾಗ Bosphorus Strait in the Bosphorus Strait connects Sea of Marmara to Black Sea, right? From Black Sea we will enter into Sea of Azov. So there we have Strait of Kerch, Kerch. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. Say this Aegean Sea, middle ಅಲ್ಲಿ Sea of Marmara, then Black Sea, then Sea of Azov. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಯಾವ್ದು? So ಕೆಳಗಡೆ Mediterranean Sea, Aegean Sea is east of Greece, between Turkey and Greece, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಟರ್ಕಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗ್ರೀಸ್ದು ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಟು ಅಜೋ ಸಿ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಏಜಿಯನ್ ಸಿ ಟು ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಮರ ನಡುವೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹೆಸರೇನು? ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾರ್ಡಿನೆಲಿಸ್. ದೆನ್ ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಮರ ಟು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸಿ ಬಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇಸ್ತಾನ್ಬುಲ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಬಾಸ್ಫೋರಸ್. ದೆನ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸಿ ಟು ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಜೋವ್, ಕೆರ್ಚ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಕೆರ್ಚ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಕೆರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. Okay, so it's time up. We will discuss few more things tomorrow.